The acting community has been in an uproar for well over a week now over fake actress, and she is fake, AI Tilly Norwood. It's progressed since then, though. Unions have been having their say and releasing statements. SAG-AFTRA did one just recently, and naturally, of course, Actors Union here in the UK, Equity UK, also put in a response to this. So we're going to be taking a look at that one directly because obviously it relates to me more than SAG-AFTRA one does, plus a few other things as well, which I think you might find interesting. Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters.
Crown you Queen of the Woke!
Let's chat about it. I have here on the screen a picture of the most recent fake sensation, Tilly Norwood. So just look at this, okay? This is supposed to be a piece of art. That's what the creator said. But look at her shoulder, behind the hand that's waving. It's like no shoulder actually exists. It looks extremely fake. In my opinion, and it is just that, I don't think it looks good at all. However, I've been thinking for the last week, she really does make me think that she's like a celebrity. There's some sort of familiarity around her. So I would like to ask you to leave a comment below which celebrity you think she is close to in familiarity wise. Please let me know in the comments section below, and let's see if we are on the same wavelength. Who knows? And you won't find out until tomorrow, I expect. So, first of all, let's address what Equity said in a statement. So, for those of you who do not know, Equity UK is the Actors Union for performers like myself. I am a member of it. It is the sister branch of SAG-AFTRA, which means basically when Americans come over here to the UK, Equity UK will look after them and take up any issues that they have on behalf of SAG-AFTRA Union. Equity was also pivotal in supporting the strikes that happened in Hollywood in recent years, but they also advised any American performer here in the UK under a British contract to not strike, because obviously that would be a breach of contract. So I have the statement from Equity UK, and I took it from the union website. AI actress demonstrates fear over performance theft. Equity says AI must be a tool to empower human creators, not replace them, which is true. Equity is calling for greater transparency and protections for artists' work following the launch of an entirely synthetic actor, it's not an actor, Tilly Norwood, generated by AI. Launched at the Zurich Film Festival at the end of September, AI actress Tilly Norwood is the creation of computerized image generation studio, I think it's Sequoia, I don't know how to say that, overseen by AI company Particle 6. Many Hollywood actors have spoken out against the move, calling it terrifying and questioning whether a synthetic creation can replace human performances. It cannot. Equity is calling for the Wild West of AI to end, at saying robust protections must be implemented to ensure artists' work is not stolen. In a public statement, Equity said, and just going to pause right there. I'll let you know something. Equity does not pussyfoot around in their wording as well. They're very direct. Let's put it like that. Equity believes that the creative process is a human prerogative and generative AI must remain a tool that is used to empower human creators, not replace them. We are calling for greater transparency and protection for artists' work to ensure that new AI-generated performers like Tilly Norwood do not infringe our members' likenesses, and human artistry is protected at all costs. AI-generated performances do not appear from thin air. They are made by digitally imitating real work made by real people. These AI systems have been trained on human likeness and human voices. Sometimes this is done with performers' permission, but often it is not. This Wild West must end and robust protections must be implemented, and to ensure that artists' work is not stolen. And this is the biggest part of the problem, the fact that it is mostly stolen from artists. The selling point of any artist, especially when you are first introduced to a casting director is your face, followed by your voice. So your likeness and your sound is your promotion. And that's what gets you in that audition room. Last week, I quoted actress Mara Wilson, who was in Matilda and Mrs. Doubtfire, where she mentioned about how many actresses that could have been stolen from in order to create Tilly Norwood. Well, in that case, although I didn't go into details, she was absolutely right in that sense. Now, in some instances, there will be performers who do give their permission, but from what I understand, it does seem to be few and far in between. It's just an understanding. And because artists are not asked, artists don't get paid, and artists could end up in a very sticky predicament, which they do not want to be in. They carry on, and this is what they say. Equity is supporting a member who believes her image and performance is included in the creation of new AI actress without her permission. The lack of transparency around this and so many other AI creations represent these problems. The industry desperately needs a system of transparency, consent, and remuneration to ensure that performers' rights are respected and upheld. As part of our current negotiations with PACT, we'll get to PACT in a minute, we are demanding minimum standards in relation to the use of AI across the film and television industry. Alongside these critical negotiations, we continue to lobby the UK government to strengthen performers' rights so that all artists are protected, including those in other sectors who do not benefit from the safeguards of union contracts. Technological advancements must not come at the expense of those who bring art to life. Based, as the latest generation would say. So PACT is the Producers Alliance of Cinema and Television. And what they do is they set out minimum standards for how we work. And this is normally stretched over a few years. And then they come back together with Equity to work on like the next load of minimum standards that, revise it basically. And I do believe, judging from I don't know where I put it actually, but the Last Quarter magazine, which I received the other day, they are probably on some new negotiations right now. I did try to have a look to see if PACT had put anything into their digest on the Equity website about AI with their breakdowns and all of that, but I couldn't find anything. That doesn't mean to say that it doesn't exist. It might just mean that I couldn't find it, but it is probably telling me that they are still working on it, and in the future we will most likely see something. And I think for now, what is most likely happening, it's just hypothesis, is that there's the activist aspect where we can write to tell our MPs as part of Equity's Stop AI Stealing the Show scheme, which they launched in April 2022. I would imagine. So we can do that. We can write to our MPs to take it to Parliament. And I would also imagine for the time being that actors would have to go through the Actors Union and the legal team, which is a very good legal team, when it comes to AI usage. Through my digging, though, I was trying to see if there was any other additional information pieces about what an actor could be paid minimum-wise away from PACT, should it arise that they would ever need to be cloned. And I couldn't find anything specifically. However, I did find an example template for a contract, which I've downloaded and I'm going to keep hold of because I think that will be very useful should this ever come up in the future. But I will make sure that is linked below should you wish to have a look at it, because it's got certain stipulations, which is really good. Because the one thing that's going on with the Tilly Norwood thing is that it appears, and I'm just using that word, it appears, allegedly, that they're not asking permission. The creators are not asking for permission. And one of the most important things that actors rely on is something that is called buyouts. Buyouts are contractual clauses, and those are used to hold the rights to your likeness for a certain amount of time, maybe 2 years, 3 years, and then a cooling off period or something like that, but not indefinitely. And then should they require an extension, it will go to the next part of the buyout clause in the contract, and you can get that extension. And if they don't want that extension, or the actor doesn't want to buy into that extension, in this case, then the likeness is fully returned, and they are free to work on something else to do with AI that wouldn't conflict with that buyout contract. I will obviously link the pages to do with AI and the law from the equity website below, should anyone need quick access to it, because I think that's important, relevant information. Now, equity mentioned that they were dealing with an actress whose likeness has possibly been taken. I did some more digging, and I found out, although it wasn't difficult, I found out who it was. So yeah, go me. So Equity and Equity Scotland posted on Instagram, Equity UK says, when AI actress Tilly Norwood was launched last month, Equity member Bryony Munro was inundated with messages asking if the AI model was her. Here, Bryony speaks to Good Morning Scotland about how the works of real creators are behind the machines. If you're an Equity member and have concerns about your work, voice, or likeness has been used, get in touch with us via obviously the website. So Bryony Munro has come forward after receiving those messages, and I'll show you this. I can see why people would get confused. Take a look. There are definitely similarities there, and I understand why people reacted the way that they did, and they inundated her with those messages. Now, she went on Good Morning Scotland, and this is what she had to say.
I looked at this picture of this AI generated actress and was like, wow, that actually is me.
Well, I spoke to actress Bryony Munro earlier about the resemblance between her and the AI actress.
There have been so many people's work that have been stolen off of it, and not even actresses, but set design, hair and makeup, costume, AI systems.
So, like any background or anything like that you would generate, perhaps it's lifted from somewhere, some design, something.
Need to be trained, but they're trained off of human work. I think my major concern with it is you don't know what it can be used for, because once it's out there, it's out there. And I feel like AI should absolutely not be used as a replacement for real life people and their work. I'm just going to continue to speak out about it. I've been in contact with Equity, which is the Actors Union. They've been absolutely amazing at trying to tackle this for me. They've been very, very hands-on, which is great. I looked at this.
So I can vouch for that, having had some things happen in the past that Equity had to help me with. Now, I also said in my last video, when you start introducing AI performers, and I say that loosely, it starts off with just one, and then people will start to see the need for more, and so they will start introducing more because it's easier, and eventually, over a period of time, we would be released. Now, I didn't go into that much of detail when I spoke about it. However, there is a cause and effect, because we also work with a lot of blue collar workers. So once you start putting the actors out of the job in favor of AI, you start putting the blue collar workers out of a job, the ones who are salaried, and they could run the risk of losing their jobs just through AI actors. Now, there's a very, very good chance that actors and performers and Equity and SAG-AFTRA and any other union that has spoken out against this may come together and go on strike. It's a possibility, which in many respects is a very good thing, because AI should not be a replacement for authentic storytelling. However, these strikes may also propel it, so there is a risk to doing strikes should it ever happen. Now, I will be back tomorrow with some more Tilly Norwood stuff, because I've been going through the Instagram account. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow. However, do let me know what you think about all of this in the chat below. I hope that Bryony is able to get this sorted out once and for all. And please do check out some of the other content I have picked out for you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching today. Don't forget you can join me on my other platforms as well. I've got YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, X, TikTok, Instagram, Locals, Substack, and I also have a Discord. Everything is linked below.